Hi there. Hi there. This is not a live stream. Baseball cap on. Today, I'm on the road and about and all through southern Poland. So I can't be here to do your live stream. And I'm not going to be able to hell even be at my mother in law's house or some other place that I'd be able to do a live stream. So today, this is not the Friday live stream. Hi there, I'm Clifford Bates, and welcome. I don't think I'm going to keep you for an hour, but I might spend some time. I won't say, like on our live stream, I kind of bullshit about what we do or don't do. Um, I Not bullshit, but I usually spend about 20 minutes talking about my last week. I'm not going to do that. I just tell you, yesterday I had an exam. We had an exam in key methods and methodology, and I have like 100 something exams to grade. So I'll be doing that this weekend. Um, we finished my Constitution class. I'm now teaching, and then tomorrow, before we leave for the trip, we will be dealing with my last 14th Introduction to Politics course, which I think I'm going to put on the web. I put the first five uh, uh, classes, and I have now nine more classes. Tomorrow I'll have the ninth class, and we will put them on the web. And I will be a good boy, and I'll put them on the web, and I'll put the information on it. And I said I'd do that, so I'll do that during the summer, sometime after the break, after we grade papers. Um, I have a rescheduling issue for students for their last paper. I'm going to move it to the beginning of July. It was supposed to be the 24th of June. I'm pushing it back a week so that they will have an extra week, and they're going to be happy. Yeah, okay, I understand. So, what I'm up to? Well, recording. I'm in the Prince. I'm recording. We've recorded some new episodes of the Prince. I've hit the nasty one, wickedness one, and I haven't recorded it yet. The reason I don't know why. I was going to do it today, but no, I had no energy to do it. And you can hear my voice going like crap, right? Hear the voice going like crap. And I'm going to do that probably when we get back, and then we'll see what happens. I have to be at the university the next Thursday, not this Thursday, coming Thursday, but the previous Thursday also, to give a one student who's going to go away an exam. So I have to go print that up, and then I have to go arrange to have a test printed. Um, it's a big pain in my ass, right? That's live. That's live. Um, the thing I've been doing is I'll finish recording the prints. I'm going to turn my lectures to talk on the American Constitution that I recorded for my course, my 14 sessions on the creation of the American Constitution. I think I'm going to create a series, creating the American Constitution. I have it as a dump site, but it's private. I'm going to make a card for it, and I'm going to post them as a part of something to do in this summer, or may not be able to post. Um, And I started a new thing. I decided some shorts, these 1 minute shorts. It's hard to do a 1 minute short, honestly. Um, and I'm begging you, people, send me on comment suggestions here. You can please send comment suggestions on the topics you want a 1 minute thing on about methodological, political methodology, ideas, concepts, political concepts, a history of ideas that you would want a short on. Um, don't ask me to do ridiculous things because it's not going to be able to do. A minute is a minute. You should see. I made two videos about elites. I talked about Pareto. I didn't talk about Pareto yet. I talked about iron law of oligarchy. I talked about Grisham's law and its applications in political as a concept of human behavior. We're going to be looking at some kind of things like that. So think about an issue or theme. Someone said, "My wife said, talk about Aristotle says," or it's difficult to talk about something serious in a minute, okay? Because it becomes, you're going to say, "Oh, I have a good idea in a minute." Okay, yeah, yeah, but it becomes something serious. I think I did the elite stuff as the stuff on the elites. I think I did it was all right. I know Mr. Greenglass, who's one of our watchers, has made clips, but he hasn't. The clips are weird to get, and that you have to go look at them. I don't know how to get his clips. I mean, I know how I get them. I look at them from the point of view of the editor thing up there, and I see that people make clips, and I go, "Oh, that's interesting." And he's posted a couple clips on X. I know. But I would hope more people do some clips. Not necessarily get me in trouble in that way. But that's it. This is some of the ideas that I need to start doing those shorters. And I have a little tube. My wife gave me one of those light things. Her old cell phone that she got a new cell phone. She gave hers to the mother, and then it died, and the mother got a new cell phone, and then came back to life, and that we had this Motorola cell phone. Um, I don't like mobiles. I don't like smartphones. I have dumb phones. Um, so I have a kind of uh, a smartphone that is only on Wi-Fi because I have no chip for it. I don't want to put a chip in it because I have a chip already. And my wife said, "You can't have three phones." I have two phones. One for my tablet, a GSM card for my tablet. I have a 10, like a 8-inch tablet, and it has a GSM card, so I can, when I travel, I use that as my computer to go around. Um, um, and she goes, "I'm not going to give you three cell phones, three SIM cards." Okay, I have this thing set up over there, like over there. If I turn the camera on, I can't turn the camera. Do the little setup with the little, the camera and the light facing it. But the problem is when I sit over there, you see the lights up there. You can't see the camera's looking like here, so you don't see the glaring overlights up there, the LED, LCD, um, headlights, strip lights over here. So, oh, wow. And when I sit where it is, they sit up and they glowing things above me, man. Glow, man. Rah. Um, One of the things, so today, I don't really have any strong, passionate thing. I have no message from Corlett, so she does it today, tomorrow, post something. Let me see. Does he post something today? Let's see. Does he post something today? It's still on there. Is he posting something? He usually post something today um, about that and about the last video. And I'll be honest with you, last week it was sucky. I was feeling horrible. Um, I was I was I was I had no energy. I had no ideas, and to be honest with you, it's been kind of a tough week. Um, and I think it's been kind of like, but I want to keep the live streams up, so I did it, and I felt there. So today, this is not a live stream again, so I'll keep it up. I'm going to try to be a little more gung ho. Um, what to finish the rest of it? I mean, honestly, we're not even that much into the thing. We're about 16 minutes, 17 minutes in. Yeah, no, I see the clock. We're 9 minutes in, so not even 10 minutes. We're almost at the end. So, themes. Writing. My writing, I'm doing this piece on the pre-Constitution things. I have to write it. It's painful. I have about 20 pages of crap now. I have to edit it and put footnotes on it. So it's like, I have a transcript of what I said. I have Uh, I added some stuff. I have to maybe add an introduction a little more. I'll need 2 days of editing, and that means 2 days of editing, 2 days, 3 days of real editing. Um, I'm kind of like, I promised I'd get it by middle of July. I think I'll do this. I have another July meeting, a university meeting, July 2nd or July 1st. And then I have to be ready for a stupid interviewing MA students. Um, and the outside, I hope you don't hear it, the people arguing outside. So, what are the talk about, you guys? Well, we can talk about, I want to talk about contemporary politics because we're looking at, everyone's saying about the news in America about I mean, not Joe Biden, the Biden boy getting convicted on uh, a, a Fed charge of guns. And now, to be honest, this is where people, I think maybe going after the Bidens this is like really, I mean, lying. They got him for lying on a gun registration form. I think the courts are going to overturn this rule. I think the argument is that you're going to use the fact that a former drug user, someone who's a drug user, um, uh, uh, when they to be as a cause for to they ask you that question on a form, and that being possibly a form that you'd be rejected from being owning a gun, people would lie, and therefore making a crime to lie. It is kind of a problem, and I think this is a case where I think the tactic. I mean, I think they're going after him on this crime because they don't want to charge him on the real crimes, because if you charge him on the other crimes, you'd implicate his father. I mean, this is kind of a. I think Gutfeld is right here when he says this is there to distract the issue. He's Biden, young boy Biden has to get Hunter has to go. He's taking one for the team. He's taking one for the crime family. He's going to take the hit for the crime family, so they don't, and he will, he won't be pardoned. He won't be, because why? Because maybe, but when if he when after the defeat he will be pardoned, but before that, no. Why? Because he's going to take one for the team, because this is going to distract from the attention on the real story about here is, and the real story about the laptop is not about the drug use or about the illegal signing of the gun. This is ridiculous thing. The sex is not important. The importance about the laptop is that it gave solid evidence of basically the peddling of the president, Biden, using his sons to get relationships with peddling influence, payback scheme, influence peddling. In other words, pay for play. The role that he was selling his influence as vice president, and then later as now as not we didn't get the but as vice president. Um, This is a very damning. The evidence in that is these are the serious crimes. It's not that the crime is not about what Hunter Biden did. It's about what Hunter Biden did as part of a orchestrated scheme to allow his father and the Biden family to use public office and Biden's holding office as a mechanism to generate wealth and money from influence peddling. This is the true crime here, and and therefore they're going after the gun charge because this is one place where the president is not implicated. Joe Biden is that has no real role implication. It, yeah, and it puts him in the most sympathetic light. and I think they were really hoping for jury nullifications, but the jury find that the I think the I think in many ways the defense overplayed it to a degree that the jury kind of said no, 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 no. Um, and I think the guilty verdict also makes it harder for people can say, oh, so see, the American justice system works because they convicted Biden, so this is not just a rigged thing, as Trump and his allies saying. So I think this is I think Gutfeld is right here on this point, and that this is kind of the rigged system. That this is being done. This the charge, the Justice Department going after him, and these charges is to deflect from the real crimes, the other crimes that do connect the president and parties closer to the president. Um, but okay, that's not really that much important. Really, that's just who cares. Um, the European elections. Well, the European elections. It was important. The populist forces did very well, but the way the European Parliament is structured, still that it's only going to change it slightly. Um, and most of the and Poland Confederacja won 6 seats, and that was like, oh my God, just the panic that the government, the PO government, got like only 1 seat more than the previous. There was 1 seat more than PI, the Jolo and Justice Party in the choice, and that the next party that came in there was Confederacja. Third Way and Lewica came further back, and because of that, there's like, ooh, I think they got three each. Um, at the European level, the larger European level, I think there will be a change, but I don't think it's going to be significant enough. The problem is the so-called People's Party, the European People's Party. I think their leadership, the Western European People's Party members, are too accommodationist to the political infrastructure in the EU, the bureaucrat, and particularly that, and I think they're going to give van der Leyen another term, and I think that's a crime. They should actually impeach her. They should remove her, and they should not give her a new term. I have no hope of. I don't really think the. I think what will happen is nothing. The real shocker is the French Macron, the Macron's electoral party at the end of the level got such a shellacking. Macron opted to hold elections, and it's going to be happening in July. I think the July elections, and that is a shocker. I think that's going to be calling for early elections, and one. I'm not sure that was a good move or a bad move on his part. Is he going to use the fear among the establishment of France and the establishment things to of a possible Le Pen victory, that they will rally around him, particularly in a second round term, the second round of the elections, and that you get a super grand coalition of everyone to stop, like, I mean, basically the same strategy that happened in Poland. You have PO with its larger wacky coalition partner with the left, right? With the left, I mean, you have PO and the KO, which has the Greens, and the other weird leftist parties in KO. You look at KO, which includes PO. I mean, they're ideologically it's a left right. I mean, you have right wing, you have neocons and fragrant left neoliberals and leftists right together, and gender wacky cuckoos. And then you have the Lewica, which has gay, Bidon in Poland, as its front person. where the old communists are kind of like in the background. The old commie boys are in the hiding and no longer face. The younger face are the young and gay, the young urban gay intellectuals, or at least rah rah a rainbow flag waving left. That is Levitsa, and then the third way is basically the peasant party, which is the the paid for opposition party. That was in every other government. It was a coalition partner for every government. It's the klepto party. Oh yeah, give me money, I'll vote for you. So they were coalition with the left. They were coalition with the left. They SLD. They were coalition with PO. But what happened was their leadership took too many hits over time, and scandals. And what ended up happening is the new generation lost power, and then, therefore, certain elements of PO who broke away joined with them to do third way. In other words, the third way is kind of a middle group of kind of what we call center. Those who broke away from PO. That's the Polish scheme. I know Polish politics pretty well in that light. So if we look at this, you look at the current government is a coalition of everyone to stop PIS. Confederacy is growing. Confederacy didn't grow that much. Confederacy, I think I think a lot of I think Confederacy will probably get more votes this time because they did much better than anyone thought they would at this election, and I attribute that to how effective their young leadership has been. Their young, their some of their younger voices who are not, some of their older voices are kind of middle the leader older generation, older, not the really older ones, but the generation one is a little bit rough and crude. But the younger ones, the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, and the 20-year-olds are very articulate, very photogenic, very logical, very effective. My wife, who's not a right wing person, my wife, who is very center progressive, not progressive, but center realist. She never really liked PIS that much because of the kind of anti-woman rhetoric of PIS and too much over the religious aspect of it. All her friends were PO. She voted. Her best friend worked for Busak. And that her, Busak, and one of them was a PO politician, and she knew a lot of people in PO, but she became disillusioned with them over 20 years, 10 years, or 15 years. Um, I mean, she was a PO voter, and that was kind of disillusioned by their abuse and their lies. And I was surprised when she said she's going to vote for Confederacia because what? Because she's the woman that's the young girl who's on television who's doing very good work in Confederacia, was running for a Euro Parliament position, and she liked her, and she says, I want to vote for her," and and um, and she was even praising Bosak, because Bosak's art speech was great. And I'm saying, whoa, 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 whoa. Now, I think a lot of the PO vote that happened in the European election is backlash from the heavy-handed betrayal of what Tusk did in his short time as his government, and his basically clearly caring more for German interests over Polish interests, to a lot of voters and a lot of people who might have been originally on the PO bandwagon, and I think maybe even some law and justice voters who don't are not really law and justice people, but they voted law and justice because they disliked PO, but they became disheartened. I think a lot of people. I think the reason why the PIS government lost the election in the fall was due to the Ukrainian war and the and the German plan to encourage the Ukrainians to sell grain into European markets. That was the no-go. That's the destruction of the Polish farms. All Eastern European agricultures would be fucked beyond all recognition, and that therefore the government the government was pro-Ukraine, but not on this issue because this would screw their voting base, and I suspect a significant number of the voters did not go. I think the agrarian vote, who's very active now because of the farm protests, because of the Green New Deal, they stayed home in the midterm, in the November election. They didn't turn out, and there was a higher number of urban vote. The urban intellectual vote voted, and they voted mostly as an anti Kaczynski, anti Kaczynski, anti PO vote, that we want to beat this. And I think this was that. I think they won on this backlash of the lies that were told about inflation, the way the media and the European owned media in Poland just spread this disinformation campaign about inflation, and I think there is this, there was an effective um, perception that this was their fault. Now, my argument was always when I talked to people about this, I'm saying I think PIS did a much better job during COVID and the crisis in handling these issues than PO would have, because what the PO solution would be massive unemployment, which Poland did not have, and a really declined economy. They still would have had the inflation, because the inflation was a global phenomenon, not that Poland affected the inflation because you have to understand, most of the banks of Poland are foreign owned. So if their economy is having the crisis and these problems, that this is going to, you have global inflation, you're going to have Poland is going to get the inflation of it. And that the irony here is that the budget under PIS was more balanced than under even less than 6 months in the government. This budget is a disaster. It has deficits beyond all recognition. So I don't, I think there's a lot of buyer remorse. So I think the people who did vote for PO, a lot of them ended up voting. Who knows? Some might have voted for Confederacia, or voted for PIS. PIS came very close. 2 points difference between PO and PIS came on this. And I think this is a harbinger to something. But again, I see. I go back to France. You go back to France, you can have the same phenomena. You can have a giant coalition of everyone. Let's stop Le Pen. So Le Pen may get the majority of votes. I mean, not majority, but get the largest plurality, the mode vote ratio, but won't have enough to be able to form a government on her own, a parliamentary government. And that in the general election, and then the presidential election, if the presidency is thrown up, and then he runs for presidency, then what happens? The second round, if he doesn't have a majority, whoever doesn't get a majority, second round, and that could be everyone just. I mean, that's again what happened with Chirac against the first Le Pen. Chirac defeated Le Pen, her father, by he got number two, and then what happened was all the other parties joined up to defeat him at that level. In fact, it was a significant victory in that second round, right? So we have to understand this as that we have to understand the dynamic of what's going to happen here. So I'm not as I think Le Pen, the French election is going to be something to watch. You will see. I think there is kind of I think the British election is going to be a watcher. Yes, everyone thinks, and all the good money is going to be that the Labour is going to win big, but that may be a disaster because the plan, if Labour wins big, Labor will win with a perception that they have a mandate, and they're coming with an agenda that will be it's as revolutionary as the labor agenda of 1946. And in that way, it's in other words, there's not. This is basically an anti-Tory. This is an anti-Tory election. This is basically this is retaliation for the fuck uppery of the past 14 years. The inability to deliver or do on the massive victory that all the working class labor voter who abandoned the Blairite, but not to say Blairite, but then what do you call what is the guy's name? I forget the guy who took over. You know, the old fashioned leftist who sided with every terrorist there was known to name. I'm blanking on his name. That Corbyn Tories, the Corbyn Tories, Labor, that they're not going to vote for that. They abandoned Labor totally. Um, they voted for Tory. The Red Wall voted with Labor. The Red Wall up the north broke the solid heartbed of the labor movement. Seats voted. It voted for uh, 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 the Tories. And what happened was that COVID hit, and uh, Johnson basically did nothing, did not accomplish any of the accomplishments he promised to deliver for them. He, in fact, did, instead of dealing with immigration, they basically expanded immigration. Immigration got out of control. Oh, they blamed the European courts. Oh, we can't in their own court system. But if they didn't have the will. The Tories didn't have the will to undo any of the things that they should have had. They had the power to do it, but they did. They internally, the elites, the party elites. Again, these were shaped by Cameron. Cameron put all these MPs. This is the silly thing of the Cameron years. By we're gonna put all these minorities, women and minority. We're gonna racially profile DEI, the Tory party, to kind of create all these people, these women and these minorities are going to be all through the party, and the traditional old conservatives are going to be, the white males are going to be put out of the party, and we're gonna rainbowize our party. The Cameron years, and Cameron made a mistake because he didn't think he'd win. He wanted another coalition with Lib Dems, because the Lib Dems could prevent. He could promise the Brexit vote to appease the right wing of his party, of the voter base at least. Because I mean the parliament members knew the parliament. He made the modern Tory party parliamentarians in his image, and and it was a setup. They were going to loot. They were. They didn't think they got surprised by winning, and they won a majority and didn't have to form a government. And because he won a majority, he had to deliver his promise of Brexit, and therefore he also thought he was going to be able to win it. He and Downing Street worked with it, and the surprise of being able to that Leave campaign was able to win, and the way it won, because what's his name, Dominic Cummings, and his strategy of looking at this way, and the campaign that Cummings planned on Brexit, and the way he using new micro targeting, micro advertising to target the very voters that the Labour Party and every that you know were ignored for 20 years, and voila, Brexit won. And I think in many ways, uh, uh, even though I think he's wrong. I mean, Cummings is wrong about a lot of things. I think his understanding of he does like Russia. He studied Russia. He's done business in Russia. He studied it. He has some understanding. He's not totally wrong, but I think his perception of what's going on in Ukraine is misguided. Um, Not because I think Ukraine is a wonderful thing. I mean, Ukraine. I'm not a Ukraine. I'm not. Okay. My Ukraine position is more complicated. I think yes, I want to see Russia lose. Russia losing is a good thing. Russian losing is the best thing that can happen to Russians. That's only by Russia being castrated can Russia become a normal population, and that things can stabilize. It causes certain geopolitical risks in Eurasia because this leaves a power vacuum that the Chinese would love to fill, and if the Chinese get in there, things will get very ugly very quickly. Um, I think there will be have to be the rise of Turkey or something like that coming in there. Maybe even Iran will take an interest. I don't think so. I don't think Iran, I think Iran is going to be in trouble also for another reason. I think Turkey is going to be a bigger player eventually. Geopolitically, Turkey has a better interest in those regions. Um, but this requires a little, Western use of this. Uh, I think a lot of people would rather leave Russia in charge because Russia is the demon we know, and Turkey is. We're not really sure of whether they're friend or foe, and we know China is a threat. Okay, we don't want China getting control of the Eurasian continent. Okay, that will be a disaster. Northern Asia controlling the energy resources of that will make China a really geopolitical threat for everyone. Um, um, so I mean that is the crux. But I'd rather have Russia castrated. Why? Because well, Putin problem is I think Putin's strategy is going to be always double down. He's unstable in that regard. He's not mad. He's just kind of has a double down, double down, double down policy. The Russians always think this way, and this is the problem of Russians' geopolitics is destabilizing. They don't have a normal thing. They're in a war economy, yes, but it's not. It's still not going to modernize. It's going to be marginalized. Um, um, I don't think. I think a strong. I think a. This is the problem. All the solutions are messy. I think an independent Ukraine is a necessary thing. I don't think Ukraine should be part of Europe. It should be separate. It should create a alliance of Belarus or that and maybe Georgia and create a alternative alliance outside of the Russian domination, um, Russian control, but also outside of the EU. Um, I don't think Georgia wants that. I think Georgia and Moldova are really looking forward to EU membership. I think the problem is the EU is going to be broken up soon too. I think it's going to fractionalize. This idea they want to be part of Europe. The problem of yeah, Ukraine really can't be part. Ukraine will destabilize the whole the agricultural side. Everyone bitched about the French farmers already bitched about the Eastern Europeans. I mean the current like Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, and those places as being bad in itself. But my God, if you bring Ukraine in, um, you won't. This will destroy all Western agriculture. All Western agriculture will be destroyed in that sense. It can't compete. The kind of ground there is simply just so good, that much better. That once you just take modern agriculture techniques there, it's going to be like forget it. The costs alone, the production value and the cost alone will just flood the European market. And this is what by the Green New Deal wants. The Green New Deal kind of wants to do this. The European wants to basically not want. They're not going to let it, in Ukraine. The French and the German agribusinesses are making deals with the Ukrainians now to buy their agribusiness. Remember, this much of Ukrainian agriculture is still state owned, or at least the land is owned by the state and centralized to some degree. That maybe people might be farming the land, but it's still much. In other words, it's still centralized. Much of and privatization was kind of a improper. People are, a lot of people are working land that they don't really own. In that sense, this is a big problem. But Ukraine privatization was not really done right. It was how it was handled, and this is why there's oligarch. It's a very poor society from that point of view. There's no real middle class. You have very wealthy, elite, but that mostly Russian. A very wealthy elite that's mostly ethnically Russian or Russian speaking, and then what you have is a vast peasantry, who farms and do the farms. You have a big industrial base, Ukrainian-based industrial base, um, that is working class and technical middle class, lower middle class. But um, the agricultural base is still primarily um, peasants, former peasants, and this state-owned industry, state land. That was state land. It was now maybe run by collectives and groups that are privatized, and families live there and doing it as hired out to do it. They like medieval land leases, but the land ownership is still collectively, and that therefore your big agribusinesses making deals to buy it and to basically kill off Western European, European farming and third partying out to Ukraine and Africa. Okay, and therefore you get cheap food coming into Europe, and then you get we get the lower carbon emissions by eliminating the carbon activities in the farming. Okay, um, this is the kind of sicko Green New Deal that's happening. Um, that people vote, the farmers are violently opposing it. I think the farmers are going to be even angrier after. I think the election is not that the European election is not going to produce the results that they thought they would. I think that the European elections are the way the EU election system is designed, and by proportional representation, it's designed not to allow real change. The electoral system is really designed to prevent drastic change. The proportional electoral system is designed this way, and the coalition baiting, and the fact that you can make the coalitions in the way they do, um, are really fundamentally, and the deals made by the larger European-wide coalitions will simply just buy off the leaders. So yes, you may win a party that opposes it at the local level, but once their European leadership goes, once their electoral leadership goes to Europe, they then get introduced to the options and access and money, job offers, and friends, family job offers, and things like that. And that's going to be hard to kind of resist. And I think that is going to be the ugly reality of that. So that is the European Parliament mess in that sense. I don't think it's going to be a big plus. I think it's going to. I think it's not going to be a big. I was hoping for it, but then I saw the results, and I looked at the results, and I look at the aggregation of the results, and then I look at the negotiations that are happening at the among the European coalitions of the local parties, and I go, oh, okay, this is not working. This is going to be it. This is this is simply just small change, not enough to uh, and the commission and the bureaucracy, the Brusselsocrats, will simply negotiate, use their influence and their ability and the money of the Europe and the commissions to influence peddle the elected new member parliaments, and the coalition say make deals and buy people off. That's how it works. Well, that's it. I'm at my point here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop here because I don't really have anything more to say. This is just a not the Friday live stream. Nice to have you guys here. Please, again, put comments about what you want me to do for shorts. And also put comments down of what you want me to do for long streams. When I do a next live stream, I want to talk about something, maybe be prepared to do something, and I'll talk about it a little more. It's been nice to see you guys. Like if you liked it, hit like it. If you didn't like it, you can say no, but say why in the comments. Oh yeah, lousy video. You didn't talk about much. You just rambled on, man. You just rambled on, and you wasted my time, man. Nothing to do is if we're getting at that magical number, we're stuck. We lost one or two and then came back. We're on 470s, 471. It was like 471, then 470, then 471, then 470, 471. It was like this, blump, 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 blump. We're at the 470 mark, and I'd like to get the 500 this summer. I'd like to hit that over 500 for the. I'd like to get to the 500 mark, man. I'll throw a party. I'll throw a video party. Yeah, video party. Yeah, the 400, 500 mark. Yeah. So subscribe. Get your friends to come check us out. Check us out. Subscribe and watch some. Well, that's it. Okay, you can follow me on social media. You can follow me in academic social media below that. Just check out my academic writing and things like this. And also, you can do this by you want to help me do what I do. You want to give me some money, please, please. Help Daddy out. Throw some money upon my way, please. I depend upon the kindness of strangers, please. So you can do so by Patreon or Subscribestar or buying one of the 3 books that I have currently available out there. You can go buy them either at the local bookstore if it has them, maybe order them like that. Order it through an online distributor like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or whatever, Libris or anything like this. Or you can order it through your the publisher, the publishers. Well, that's it. Take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.